Mark, we've talked with several Indiana teens who say they've been raped. They expected their alleged rapist would be criminally charged, put in jail, or at least kept away from school. But that's often not what's happening.
I just kind of didn't know what to do.
Alyssa Hicks was 12 years old when she invited over a 13-year-old classmate.
He asked me if we could have sex, and I told him no. Multiple times.
Alyssa says the boy raped her. A day later, Alyssa told her mom, who took her to the hospital for a rape kit.
You just think of everything that you could have done differently as a parent.
In Indiana, the law says no one under the age of 14 can legally consent to sexual activity. Alyssa and her mom thought the boy would be criminally charged, but he wasn't.
It makes me sick to my stomach. It's hard. I can't explain it. It's completely destroyed some of our family and her life, and it's hard to watch that as a mother.
Alyssa says during her interview with the sheriff's office, she was confused by the detective's questions. She thought rape meant she had to be held down with force, and so Alyssa later changed her story and said it wasn't rape.
Because I wasn't really aware of what was happening.
Prosecutors charged Alyssa with false informing. Crystal says her daughter, an honor roll student, was treated like a criminal.
I feel like the perpetrator is treated like they're put up on some pedestal and they've done no wrong, while the victim gets treated like they've done something wrong.
Alyssa became concerned about her safety when she started attending Tri-West in 2017, the same school as her alleged perpetrator. So she filed for a protective order, and a court granted it on September 21st, saying the boy posed a credible threat to Alyssa's safety. It prohibited him from visiting Alyssa's home and work, but the boy was allowed to attend school with Alyssa.
It's just really hard to deal with, especially when you have to see him every day now.
Tri-West put in place a safety plan for Alyssa to keep the two teens separated as much as possible. On February 6th, Alyssa and her mom headed back to court, asking a judge to keep the protection order in place until September 2019.
Let the truth come out.
Call 6 Investigates was inside the hearing as Alyssa told the court she was raped, but the boy said the sex was consensual and he denied raping anyone. The boy's attorney questioned what Alyssa was wearing at the time and why she didn't run away or turn away. And a Hendricks County detective testified she believed Alyssa lied and that Alyssa had changed her story. Text messages mentioned in court show the boy apologized to Alyssa after for being rough. Alyssa responded in one text, "I told you no, and you still ended up doing it." After several hours of testimony, the judge denied Alyssa's request to keep the protective order in place, saying because several years had passed since the 2014 incident, there was no longer a credible safety threat.
I'm just upset and feeling like we are at a point where we have to make a decision whether to remove her from the school for her safety.
Alyssa's attorney, Adam Brower, says at age 12, she could not legally consent to sex. Most teens accused of rape are never criminally charged.
It is so rare that I can't remember. Even if a juvenile is charged with a sex crime and they're not waived to adult court, the ramifications aren't even that strong. So what's the incentive of the prosecutor to really file anything because there's not a conviction that follows them?
After Call 6 Investigates started looking into Alyssa's case, the Hendricks County prosecutor agreed to expunge the false informing charge against Alyssa. Her record is now clean, but Alyssa says she's still struggling with anxiety.
I feel like he just is getting away with it.
The alleged perpetrator and his attorney did not want to talk on camera, and the Hendricks County prosecutor and the sheriff's office cannot comment on juvenile matters. Now, the school superintendent tells us, as a general statement, anytime that we receive information regarding students feeling unsafe, we investigate the reports and put steps and protocols in place to protect and support the student's safety. Without getting into the specifics of this situation, we did put detailed safety protocols in place to help support the student. Those protocols continue to be in place today, and they are being followed by school administrators. And we should also point out that Alyssa is now doing school online. She's not attending that school anymore.
Carol, you point out in your piece that the issue of consent here. So a lot of times when these allegations are made, a rape allegation, the issue of consent being given is often brought up.
That's right. Consent is always a big sticking point. However, no one under the age of 14 can consent to sex. However, 14 to 17-year-olds can legally engage in consensual activity with each other.
Our Kara Kenny digging into that for us tonight. Thanks, Kara.